Welcome back. I've been out for close to 2 months where I haven't made a video. I had a couple surgeries and couldn't do any work. Fortunately, it's not what I do for a living, but still like to be out here working. I got a 2003 Chevy Impala, one of my cars. At the flashing engine light came on, had to get it towed back. It's got a bad miss. It's got a particularly bad miss. I pulled codes from it, P0300. So not for a specific cylinder, just general random misfire, and it's definitely misfiring. So we're going to take a look, see what we can find, see if we can figure out what's going on with this thing. Usually it's going to be one of three things: fuel, ignition, or mechanical. So let's take a look and see if we can figure out what's going on. So we'll check fuel first. And the fuel rail's right here next to the alternator. Schrader valve. I got my fuel pressure gauge hooked up. I'm just going to go key on, see what we get pressure wise. Do that first. So about 55 pounds. Just going to start it up. Pounds. You see it shaking. It's got a bad miss. I have a fuel pressure problem. It's not dropping. It's not fuel. Definitely not a fuel issue. Got plenty of pressure there. I don't think I have a volume issue or anything. Let me bleed this off and disconnect it. So I think what I want to do next is I'm going to do a clear flood crank, hold the gas pedal down while I crank it just to listen to see what it sounds like. Just an easy way to check to see if you have one particular cylinder that's got bad compression or something. Very easy to kind of see that. Let's see. So, I don't hear anything there. Everything sounds pretty good. I should back you up, I guess, I'm talking to you, but that's just holding the pedal to the floor in this car. While you crank, keep the pedal held down. It won't feed fuel, won't start, but it'll let you listen to the cylinders, and they all sound pretty much the same. I'm not really worried about compression at this point. I think I'm just going to pull plugs first. I'm going to take the plugs off, because I want to do plugs and wires anyway. Take a look at the plugs, see what they look like, see if one is particularly bad and showing a, hey, there's something wrong with the cylinder or something like that. So I think that's what we'll do. I'm going to take this cross member off here, this brace, just to get it out of my way to get in the back. And I may take the alternator. Sometimes it's easier to get at these back plugs, just removing the alternator, get your hand in there better. But regardless, that's what I'm going to do next. You can see this. Yeah, I think you can. Pulled front wires, got in the back, pulled backs. First thing I notice, right there, this wire's shot. It's rubbed through, burned through, or it was rubbing on something. It's rubbed on, it's rock hard. There you go, see? Rock hard. This one's shot. That's part of the problem here. I did notice on one of the front number 2 cylinder spark plug had some carbon tracking on it, and so did the boot. You can see a little bit of it here. just a little bit. There was more on there. I kind of had running my finger across it, but this had a track all the way around it here, about halfway around the plug. And I could see it in the boot as well. So that's kind of causing this fire. I have all 6 of my plugs out. This is the front number 2 cylinder. Had some carbon tracking on it. Doesn't look bad though. None of these look really bad. Little bit on the one, probably Misfire in the back. It's a little dark. And the one a little rich because it's just not firing all the time. But all in all, pretty tan looking. No really deposits or buildup for 100,000 miles on these. They look pretty good. So I'm hoping that we just had a carbon tracking issue on one front wire and a bad wire in the back, which was obviously bad. No doubt about the fact that that's rubbed right through on something. And then you can see it's bad. It's hard as a rock in there. It's no good. Burned up. So we're going to put the new plugs. Now, I say this about sensors and things like that. I put OEM spark plugs in. Whatever was from the factory, that's what I want back in there. These are AC Delco's 41101 is what they are for this car. Iridium plugs that they came with. That's what goes back in. It's like sensors for me and things like that, OEM. Now if you're replacing a sensor, let's say it's an O2 sensor and Denso makes the O2 sensor for the factory, Denso goes back in it. You're just asking for trouble otherwise. Aftermarket stuff for some things is fine, but for sensors and things like this, put OEM in it. Have all the wires, new plugs are in, new wires are run. I didn't clip any of the front ones here to my holder, but I'll do that. Not a lot to show there really. If you're worried about mixing them up, just do them one at a time. Pull a plug, change the wire, and then go to the next one. That's fine. It's not a big deal. I just did them all at once because I'm used to doing them on this car. Done several of these, and if you have the OEM coils, the number of the cylinders right on the coil, so it makes it even easier. But all run, so let's start it back up. Let's see if the mist is gone. Certainly sounds like it is. That's the red one. Open the door. Good, that's what it was. Well, that's it for the Misfire P0300. I'll clear the codes in this, drive it, make sure I don't have any problems. Take a look at the scanner. If you have a scanner, I can watch the misfires on this if there are any, but certainly sounds like there's not. Doesn't feel like there is. Bad wire in the back, and one in the front that had some carbon tracking inside the boot, the spark plug boot, and on the spark plug itself. So seems that's what it was. They had just over 100,000 miles on them, so they were due. So pretty easy fix. If you have this problem with your car, you need to do this. I hope this helps you out. If you like the video, subscribe below. Thanks for watching.